There's a legend told about a man who was in the marketplace in Baghdad. He saw a woman there giving him threatening glances. He recognized her instantly as death. So he went to his master and begged for a horse. The master said, "Why?" He said, "Well, death just saw me in the marketplace, and I want to ride away to the town of Samora, some 20 miles away." So the man lent him the horse, and then he himself went to the marketplace. And indeed, he saw death. And he said to Death, "Why are you threatening my servant?" And Death said, I wasn't threatening him at all. In fact, I was surprised to see him here in Baghdad, because I have an appointment with him tonight in Samora. It's only a story, but it does have some truth to it. It's a basic fact of life that we are all going to die. We don't necessarily know when, where, or how. But in the end, death will make an appointment with us, and we'll be forced to keep it. Today, the church invites us to reflect on death and the difference faith can make in our attitude towards the dead. All Souls Day is a traditional day to remember our dead and to pray for their happiness. Just as life is a process, sometimes being born into eternal life is a process, hindered at times by our own sins and deficiencies. Some cultures have different customs on All Souls Day. I know in several places in Italy, it's a day for families to gather at the cemetery, and they have a picnic on the graves of their ancestors. We come to church. We come to church and pray for the all souls that we have. I don't know about you, but I'm not much of a cemetery guy. I don't really make it a practice to visit the graves of my relatives, but I probably should, because it would be a good meditation for me, because my name is already on the stone. It might bring it home to me. Some people do get great solace about going to a cemetery. In my parish in Attleboro, there was a cemetery as part of the parish. And every day, the same people would come, even if it was just to have a drive-by at the grave. And it gave them some type of connection. But we have a much deeper connection with our Catholic faith, in the sense that we believe that it's efficacious for us to pray for the dead. And that's not the case in all Christian traditions. What our church teaches is that our prayer can intercede for the dead, and we can help the process of being united with the Lord to proceed and to be completed. I know I've told you this story before, but it comes to mind every time we get to All Souls Day in the calendar. When I was a kid growing up at St. Mary's Parish in Taunton, there was a priest who would get up every single All Souls Day and say something to the effect, "Look to your left, look to your right, and some of you will not be here next All Souls Day." Yesterday at the 4 o'clock Mass, I mentioned that, and a woman came up to me and said, "They must have taught that in the seminary, because when I was a girl growing up, that same thing was said every November 2nd. I can assure you it wasn't taught to me. The scriptures remind us of the difference that faith makes in the face of death. While it cannot and will not remove the grief and the pain that we experience when we have the death of a loved one, it can keep us connected with the one who has died. There is the communion of saints, but also the sense that on All Souls Day and other days, we can pray for our dead. So who do you pray for today? Your parents, grandparents, a child, brother, sister, spouse, friend. Bring that person's, or the many of them, to the altar this morning as we celebrate this Mass. Ask the Lord to be merciful in judging our relatives and friends, and to enable them to enter the peace of Christ.